Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Love Human Be Spirit. We are doing a just the two of us episode today after we've had some good guest episodes that have been so fun. How are you today, Monique?
I'm doing well. Welcome back. I'm excited to be here, excited to be talking about what we're going to be talking about today. And thanks for being here with us, listening in. If it's your first time here, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And if it's your a bajillionth time here, welcome back. We love you equally. And we're just so happy to be here in this community, in this space. And we feel grateful that we get to talk about some of the things that we get to talk about here.
I agree. Yeah, beautifully said. I can't believe it's December. We're
Yeah,
recording
happy
this on,
December.
yeah, we're recording this on December 3rd, closing out 2024. I'm going to slam the door on it. No, just kidding. And so it kind of sparked just some thoughts, from time to time, Monique and I, in our texting chats or our voice notes, we're like, that's a really good um podcast episode idea, and so we have somewhere where we get to keep those as a placeholder. And so knowing that we were both feeling really called to get on here today, I went back through our text chains and this one popped up that Monique really was just feeling something that day. And so I always want to give credit and give a shout out for, when we uncover things that we feel like are part of a greater cause potentially. And this one is about honesty. How, really leaning into what human design can offer us to look at from the lens of honesty.
Mhm. Yeah, I can't remember what sparked it. Now that you said that, I'm just, like I said, grateful that I have a space to be able to share with you initially, and then with the podcast with our Love Human Be Spirit community when these things do hit me, because those are like those splenic like hits that just like something else is going on, and then I hear something else, and it's like, dude, honesty. Like, let's talk about honesty, right? Because um human design, I think something about whatever was going on in that moment was allowing me to see something about myself in a way that I hadn't before, because of the human design system, because of something learned through experimenting and living out my design, and just witnessing it after. I think it was something like that. And I just was like, wow, like I didn't even know I was being not honest with myself, because I didn't really know that about myself until I saw that about myself, when living into my design, and as we all do, whether we know these words or not. And um, yeah, the realization that, like, we're not really taught how to be honest, like with ourselves, even like as kids. Like, I started to think about, like, being a child, and we're very taught, like, tell the truth and don't lie. Those words are very instilled in our, at least in my upbringing. um and I found myself, even with my kid, like especially when she was smaller, and then it's like, okay, right, but like, don't lie is more like avoiding something, or like not talking about something. Like, honesty is not that. Honesty is um being able to like live in integrity with yourself, and to know that, and like to be okay with that. And I think conditioning wise, we're sort of taught to be like truthful, but we're taught, like, be kind and be, polite, and be agreeable, and be, easy to work with, and be a good partner, and be flexible, be a good sibling, share. We're taught all those things, and I'm not saying that those aren't good values or whatever, but I think that I think honesty is a fucking important one, that it's just not focused. Like, I have a wonderful upbringing, and I was never really taught to be like self honest, and it's something I'm like doing now, more so, I think, with awareness. But it's just something that blew my mind. It's like, wow. And then to be honest with others, like, somebody says something, and then our initial thing is to not say anything, even if it hurt our feelings or something like that. And the person could have meant nothing by it, definitely didn't mean to hurt our feelings, but in that moment it did. It felt like it did. And instead of me being honest and being like, hey, that thing you said just kind of hurt my feelings, that's just being honest. Then and giving the person a chance to be like, hey, I didn't mean it like that. Da 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 da. I don't know. That's something that we're not really taught to live like honest forward like that. I think that the more of the conditioning is more like somebody says something and hurts your feelings, and then you just quietly like walk away with it and figure out where to put that or how to deal with that or get an opinion about this person maybe that's untrue now. And you think you're being so I don't know. It's just perpetuates the idea of stories, really, which is like the opposite of truth, kind of, if you think about it. But yeah, like what a concept to have missed as like an instilled value, I feel like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So much truth in everything. Truth and honesty in what you just shared. I mean, we have an entire episode about how human design has offered us such a expansive perspective on compassion. And this one just feels different. It feels like, wow, what a miss, for us as a society to perpetually, is what it seems like, what it feels like to me, be tiptoeing,
Mm-hmm.
or walking
Mm-hmm.
on eggshells of some sort for the fear of that. I'm going to use a word, obviously, that's very true to me as a manifester, for fear of that impact of being honest.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think it takes a lot of practice that you first do it with yourself and really come at it from a lens of just curiosity versus the judgment that we place on ourselves. How honest can we be with ourselves, and how quickly can we create awareness of if we're coming up with a story instead of our truth, right? And I'm going to come at this like we do things often from a layer of protection for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anybody that's listening to this, if you're feeling a lot of resistance to this conversation, just know that you may have used, what society we lovingly refer to as little white lies, or just, a softening so as not to hurt the other. The reality is that our truth is I can't fathom that it's ever meant to hurt. I can't fathom that it's meant to be malicious in any way. It's meant for us to feel safe sharing what we need, what we don't want, I mean, what we're experiencing, and not fearing how it may activate the other. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's, if I'm asked, gosh, Amy, when can you think about times in your life that you have been dishonest? I would say those things. Oh, just, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or to protect the other, in some
Mm-hmm.
way. Well, so and so asked me this, and it didn't really feel like it was my place, and so I kind of just like slithered underneath the rug, and I think that I have done a great job of making up a story that was the right thing to do. And then I
Mm-hmm.
I also have had even recent experiences where no, right according to who. And so in the moments if it already is feeling uncomfortable inside me, that's like really a great signpost that it's probably misaligned. But like, Monique and I, we always chat before we start our recording, and it just was kind of blew us both away that we're like, wait, what? We were never even really taught
Yeah.
A, what it means, and B, how to do it, and how to do it from a place that will feel fearless. There's a lot of fear embedded in being honest. And,
Yeah.
because, oh shit, then what if I have to do something different? You know, oh shit, what if then that's gonna, change the trajectory of my relationship with someone because they liked it better when I was just nice.
Yeah. It's like so many things like him. I'm like trying not to lose them in my head. But I have so much extra definition right now. It's like annoying. It's like I can't keep track of my parts, it feels like. Um, one of them is the thing about the hold on. Let me get my thoughts right. When we talk about honesty, it's like a word that is used all the time culturally. Like it's like everybody, like honest. It's such a good value. It's such a thing that's like, yeah, like be honest. It's like, I don't know, written in our I want to say like constitution, but I don't even know if that's right. You know what I'm saying? It's in like the fabric of our society, we want to say. But like, is it really taught to us like as people? Because um the I think that the thing that was really kind of mind blowing to me is that it's not like not meant to be taught. It's not like it was on purpose. Like but we are kind of missing this idea of really like understanding what that means, and not having it connect or like be related to other things in our lives, other trickling things, like, so, like if you say something and it hurts my feelings, and I say in the moment, like, that way you said that kind of hurt my feelings, that's me being honest, you being honest, and that's it. That's all that means. Like, there's no other, like, oh, I'm a needy person, I need to, like, or and there's no like, you're a mean person. Like, there's more like actual uh integrity in the interaction there. But we kind of skip over that because we feel like it's easier, or whatever, to like, which is kind of essentially lying to ourselves, right? That's what we're doing in that moment. In that moment, what you said hurt my feelings, and instead of me acknowledging that, and accepting it, and just addressing it for myself, honestly, for myself too, because maybe it's like I feel like a baby because what you said hurt my feelings, but still being honest with myself about it. um it that's just different. That's different than the interaction of how we're shown to like exchange that. Instead, it's like I'm taught to just lie to myself and be like, don't, or I don't know, that's silly for you to think like that. Just don't say anything or whatever. And then that's the narrative that I move forward with, which is then essentially me living with. And here's the thing. The other thing is that honesty is not comfortable. Like you said, sometimes as a manifestor, you're concerned about well, impact is uncomfortable sometimes, but honesty is uncomfortable most of the time. Sometimes when I say things to my kid, she'll be like, Mom, you're so mean. And I'll be like, no, I am honest, is what I am. And it's true. There are moments where something can be said, and because of the context that we've created around what things mean, it becomes like you're mean. And it's like, wait, are you though? Are you being mean right now? Or are you just being honest? And it's so foreign looking to us because we don't do it, that I have a story that looks mean now, because I've actually never seen that many people be honest upfront with themselves and others and live with that much forward integrity. Do you know what I mean? Instead of like forward busyness or forward whatever it is, checking boxes or whatever. Like, I don't know. It just feels to me that like honesty should actually be one of the higher up values that we're focused on
For real.
collectively. Maybe that
Okay.
could be a good, yeah, go.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You have a new friend or new life partner, and you are invited to meet that individual's family over dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
dinner is at that family's home.
Mm-hmm.
And while you feel you know your new friend and partner well, a new experience for you as
Mm-hmm.
a projector, line it up with whatever information. You sit down for that meal, and or the entire meal is not something that you like, or, fragments of it. And do you put the stuff on your plate and choke it down? If someone asks you, "Oh, Monique, what'd you think of the, whatever the dish is?" Do you politely say, "Oh my God, it was delicious," and while you're trying to choke back puke? Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
these are the ways. Just think about how little we
Great
are.
question. Mm-hmm.
In that moment, Monique, what would you do? What
Yeah,
do
I
you
know.
feel like is the truth of how, or you may even have already had an experience, which I sure the fuck do. Don't try to serve me duck. what the fuck? I'm not going to eat your duck, you know? But I had that happen on a Thanksgiving one time with my ex-husband's family. And like I was really poked at and I was like, and they knew me. I was like, you know,
Mhm.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, this is a great question, and such a I'm so glad that you brought me back down because I felt like I was going all over the place with it. That is a really good down to earth mundane example of honesty and how we're not taught, damn well in those experiences we were taught to fucking eat the food and be polite, and it doesn't matter if you don't like it, say it's good and all that.
And
That's what we were taught.
and what happens if we wouldn't have? Like
But
what is the
right.
label that's imprinted on us if we're
Yeah.
actually this isn't my style of food.
Yeah.
I'll just enjoy your company. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, I'll lead around. Right. It's then the right. And then we're immediately, oh, she's difficult, or
Yeah.
she's,
Oh,
oh, she must not like us
she's a
immediately.
picky
Now,
eater. How
or
rude.
yeah, or
We
it
invited her.
right. Or she's right, ill-mannered, rude, all those things. And or now it's about them. It can become personal at this point. Oh, she must not like me if she's not eating my food. Dude,
Yeah.
we're crazy. Humans are crazy, the things that we tell ourselves in our head. Okay. It is so easy to jump from like this to that for us. It's crazy, right? And it's all valid. It's the human experience. But I love that you just used such a good example like that, an experience that so many people have been in. And I'm going to answer you, I promise. But um yeah, like what a great way. Like that's honesty, like living like in that moment, like instead of teaching our kids to like do the right thing and eat the food and blah, 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 maybe changing that and maybe teaching our kids that like it's okay to also be honest, and um and like not worry about all those other things that we just said.
Yes.
Okay, I grew up eating a lot of weird food. Okay, my dad was from Spain and I just ate a lot of weird shit, so there's a high probability that whatever anybody is serving me, I'm gonna eat. It's just who I am. Okay, there's just a good chance of it. It's who I am. But I can think of a handful of things. Oh my God, my dog, guys. I have the dog at my house, and this is the dog walking. Do you hear that? I know
It
everybody
just
can
sounds
hear
like
it.
prancing. It's
It's
December. We're just going to say it's
cute.
reindeer. It's fine.
It's a reindeer. I love it. He's like a
Oh, see, do you
hundred.
see what I just did? I just moved us away from honesty. God damn it. See how real it is?
Yeah, damn it. It's okay. It's better. That was funny though. Reindeer, good one. It's okay if you're being funny. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. But he's outside now, so we're good. He's a very old dog and he's not always here. So pardon the footsteps, the reindeer paws. I love it. Okay. Um, what was I saying?
I don't know.
Honest. Oh God. Hold on. I'm gonna go back. Oh, the food question. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm at dinner. So for me, like there's a few things I could think of that I probably couldn't choke down. Like I would literally not be like I would be physically unwell at the table, which would be worse, I think. So um I think that today, I think that I would not choke back the food. I think that I would um try and eat anything I did like. And I think it would be really kind of hard for me to believe that I was okay to do that. I think that I would have a really, kind of tough time confronting it, undefined solar plexus here. I'm like, oh, definitely gonna fucking have some feeling confrontations here with the mom, especially. I don't know. But I would also try and remind myself, I think today again, like that, that it's okay. Like, people have been, even if this person's highly disappointed that I don't like their food, they still can like me. And that there's, you know, things happen all the time like this, and all those human things. I think today, and I think that a past version of me would have tried to eat it anyway, and like probably told myself while trying to eat it that I was like a pain in the ass, and like, why couldn't I just eat this and
Hmm.
just be easy about it?
Yep.
um and definitely being lying to myself in that moment, for sure, and lying to them and not showing up in honesty, and all in the name of being what? Kind,
I don't
polite.
know, because I'm just
I don't
asking
know what the
myself,
word is, but
it's
like,
like,
yeah,
what is
it's
that serving? What is that serving?
it's not.
It's
It's just a
teaching all of us not to be authentic. It's teaching all
yeah.
of us that it's not safe to,
Hmm.
share our truths. And, I'm just thinking about, like, again, your best friend or your romantic partner,
Hmm.
and the two of you are getting ready to go out and you're getting dressed. And it is so natural to ask the other, what do you think of my hair, my outfit, whatever that is? That is so
Hmm.
natural. And it's natural on both genders. Like, it's not, this
Hmm.
isn't just specific to anything. And, I have really cautioned with that with myself over the years with my relationship. Like, I've had body dysmorphia, eating disorders for 35 years. So I've really cautioned myself from asking the other, because it's almost, if that's it for me, it feels like, okay, I'm not trusting myself in this moment. I will give a caveat to this, because with my partner, I genuinely want to know if he likes this or that. I genuinely want to know. And there's another part of me that wants him to know that I know, so that then when I do either wear my hair that way or wear that outfit or whatever, it's like he can silently know that I did that for him. There's just something like, that's my little dreamy romantic side. So in the moment, I asked, in this instance, let's say I asked my partner, do you like this outfit? How paralyzing that might be for our conditioning and programming for him to answer that honestly, right? Like, because if he does, oh shit, he's opening the door to potentially my feelings being hurt, and we're changing the whole experience of the evening we were about ready to have. I can just hear and see multiple examples of that. But the reality is if I truthfully want to know, I don't want him to lie. I want him to be honest. And it's on me to feel confident to receive that information. And so I'm just wondering if there's also some confidence underlying in this that empowers us to speak more honestly, you know?
Yeah. Well, in that example, also a relatable example, um, two things came to mind. But I'm gonna say the second one first because I think that that's another great way that it's so ingrained in how we are because that's like a joke that you hear all the time is, oh, the girl asked you like this, you better say yes.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I've been a bartender a long time. I've heard all of those slogans and all of those sayings. And it's like, that's how we perpetuate these little things that are not exactly the best way to interact, maybe, like and it's yeah, and it's like, and the second thing that came to mind is like, the good way to like, is it, what are the two that you said it? Is it kind and is it helpful?
Mhm.
Right. And those are great ways to, I think, to approach those kinds of things. Is it like you just don't like the outfit or does it look like kind of not great on the person? Because I'm a person that's going to tell you if I think that it doesn't look great on you because of something like that's like, or if you could adjust something. I'm that person. But um because I want the same thing back. But I also don't ask often either. I'm a person that like gets dressed and like trusts that what I'm wearing is what I want to be wearing. And I don't really, so, but I still think that there's such a story around that. I think that there's a general storyline if you asked most people and in the chatter of life that I have heard over my 43 years is that like you say, oh, it looks great. Yeah, no matter what you think. And like maybe that's fine. I don't know. I like it just I don't know how deep it needs to go, but I do know that there's like something we're missing about like instilling the actual meaning of honesty, I think, as like a whole, as like, and with ourselves. And like I'm the queen of denial. Like this is why this thought hit me, I think, as it did, because I realized in a moment how dishonest I had been being with myself over time. And in one instance, something about in related to human design showed me like, oh my God, like I've been straight up just lying to myself, like full on deceit, lying denial to myself, and not necessarily on purpose, but and maybe for protection, like you said, and previous versions of ourselves do that. But yeah, like it's not comfortable sometimes to live with that honest forwardness. And so maybe that's why we choose not to always, but and maybe that's fine. But I do think um that there's something we're missing in the prioritizing of like learning really what this word can actually mean and do for our relationships too. Like, in a lot of my newer friendships since finding design, there's a level of honesty that exists that didn't in previous relationships, not because previous relationships were bad, but because we have the language of design. There's ways to say things like what you just said hurt my feelings. I'm an undefined solar plexus. Maybe I just got butthurt about some shit that's not even mine. Maybe I'm feeling something right now. I mean, I know I am right now. We all are. 35, 36 transit is for the whole right now. So we're all, so there's words that I can use quickly in a human design knowing newer friendship, right? Or like, yeah, avoid confrontation and truth. That's my thing. Undefined solar, so like, but you can approach that, but like really we should be able to approach this anyway, because it's I don't want to say should, but I'm going to say it. I feel like it feels like it should be easier to be honest with ourselves than it is, because it's really hard for me. And it's sometimes really hard for me to be honest, even with others. It really is still like, it's like I'm 43. Shouldn't I know how to be honest? Like, I don't know. Like, why is that hard? Why is that hard?
It's so interesting to me because you and I have had a conversation recently, and it was specific around Mia because, we talk a lot about our kiddos with each other. And you were noticing, and this was over Halloween. I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this. Here we are. So over Halloween, and Mia is a beautiful two defined centered projector. And one of her little friends, we're assuming, I think you may even know, but it has a defined sacral. I think she's an
Yeah.
MG. I think
I
she's
think she's a generator. I think
okay.
the one you're talking about.
And so, they'd been at school all day, and then you took them trick or treating, and it was way longer, and you noticed it. You felt like you noticed your daughter's energy running out,
Mhm.
but she did not want to acknowledge that for herself. You witnessed it. And then the next day, was school, and then she was going to have surf camp, and you were literally like checking in with her. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you have the energy for this? And I know you were worried in that moment. Am I conditioning her out of her truth? Am I asking her too much? And what I was so shocked that we have to worry about both ways, right? Like you witnessed her trying to keep up with her friend,
Mhm.
but you also witnessed the truth, but she wasn't even acknowledging it for herself, right? She
Mhm.
wasn't. And then it did unfold over the couple days that she really, really was exhausted. But you're like, gosh, you're in this push pull. Do I help her acknowledge this? Or maybe she didn't see it for herself. So then, she's questioning for herself. And I think that's the challenge with kiddos. Like,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about this with my grandson, who's, he's going to be 2 at the end of this month. And, I am trying my best for that kiddo to have that very little conditioning in his life. And when he shows up and he shows himself in all the ways, I want us to not acknowledge it and celebrate it versus trying to get him to be something that he's not. And yet, I'm witnessing in my own parenthood ways that I was wounded as a kiddo. And so, man, I went above and beyond and did not want my children to have that same experience. I was trying to protect them from it. But then they missed out on other experiences because of that protection I was offering. And that's the part with how do we be honest with ourselves and with them and help them understand what being honest is when we don't have that. That's not modeled for us. I mean, shit, I looked up the definition of honesty. You and I both did a little bit of that. And then just for humor, guys, I took it a step further and I'm like, what the hell's the main point of honesty? And there were a good couple little excerpts, right? Honesty implies being truthful. Honesty means to develop a practice of speaking truth throughout life. I'm going to agree with all those. But wait till you hear this last sentence, okay? Like, I was appalled. An honest person shows good behavior. Okay. Good according to who? That's what I want to know. Who is describing what good behavior is? An honest person shows that they always follow the rules and regulations. What? That makes me honest? What? Like, maintains discipline. Okay. And then the last one is punctual. Like, you guys, what is that? How is honesty translate into being punctual?
Yeah. It's crazy. That shit just pisses me off. But that's what I mean. Like it's attached to so many other things that have nothing to do with it. And instead we're missing, I think, the main, like the meat of it, the actual in the example you brought up, I think after that, at some point, Mia recently told me, or then told me, Mom, I hate when you think I'm always like pushing myself. Like no one's making me do anything. I'll do it. Like I know, like whatever. And yeah, okay, ego projector, fine, maybe. I don't know. Like you're right to your point. I don't know. I think that I think that is a an interesting line to toe as a parent because yeah, like I mean, end of the day, our instinct is to want to like protect them from anything that we felt, but what if they're supposed to feel that
I
too?
know. I
What if
know.
it's generational and they're supposed to like heal it and we kept them from feeling it and now they can't heal it and end it for the bloodline? What if that's the thing? I mean, yeah. So crazy though that you've even found that um those disciplined, punctual, like nah, like that's just somebody put that in there. It's not actually related to honesty. I think that you can be honest and undisciplined. I think that you can be honest and late. I think that I am honest and late, guys. I think that you can be honest and behave badly. I think all of those can coexist in a way, all of those things you sort of said.
I just had a major epiphany when you were saying that about, what if she's, you're trying to protect her, but what
Mm-hmm.
if she's supposed to have those experiences, which, oh my God, I mean, these are the things that I'm, acknowledging for
Mm-hmm.
myself as a parent. And it's like, shit, I thought I was, of course I was doing the best I could, but all the while I also could have that level of protection could have actually handicapped them in some way. And I guess I'm just thinking to myself, like, if we had the ability to be so undeniably honest, wouldn't we all have the emotional intelligence to navigate that honesty as well? Like, if we gave ourselves the opportunity to do that, maybe we wouldn't be out there taking everything so fucking personal because
Mm-hmm.
we're not trying to question if somebody is trying to be shady with us or, manipulate us. If we're being honest,
Mm-hmm.
then there's no work to be done if we're whole, in who we are and what we want, and we hold everybody else capable of that too. But it's not the world
Yeah.
we're in.
Yeah, not yet. And but I think what you said is probably where we're moving, with how the solar plexus mutation and all that good human design stuff. But even in terms of like just emotional intelligence and how we are perceiving each other and ourselves more, I think as individually and collectively. But yeah, I feel like it's almost like a shortcut or like a nip it in the butt type of way. Like living with honesty is that for so many like situations that can then go awry. Like if we just in the moment were able to, like you just said, live with honesty and know that like then it's not anymore about you said something mean to me because you wanted to hurt my feelings. It's just that thing you said hurt my feelings. That's it's just that. And so then I know that and you know that. And so there's no blame, There's no, resentment or like ill will, or there's no wondering. There's no stories. It just seems like a quicker way to like do the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Interact. Yeah, be a
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
think it prevents assumptions and
that
prevents,
too.
ill intent, or malicious behavior, and just so many different things, because we can each of us can think of a time where something happened and we didn't course correct with offering our own honesty or asking for that in return. What was it, something that you said that what do you mean?
Oh, the post that I said, I saw a thing on Instagram. Yeah, this is such a great add-on to it. It said we should teach our, I think it said we should teach our girls, but why not? Let's just teach our kids that it's okay. Or a good response is, no, wait, hold on. We should teach our kids that these words like are like a good, fair response. Um, what did you mean by that?
Yeah.
Were the words. What did you mean by that? Right. And and the rest of it was, we should teach our kids that phrase, and not that living in discomfort or unease is okay.
God.
Because that's what the fuck happens, right? We're little and we're somewhere and somebody says something and it fucking makes us feel weird. And we're kids. We don't really maybe know why. Maybe there's no why. But instead of addressing it and being like, and feeling okay, safe to say, what did you mean by that? That's an innocent question. What did
Mm-hmm.
you mean by that? Because I don't know. I felt something and I'm not really sure what. So my body's confused or whatever, but like instead of just sitting there, but instead what happened for a lot of us is we just had to sit there uncomfortable in our ownness and not have words for that and not know why, and then make up stories about why we're bad because we feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
I
what a
don't
what a
know. I agree with you so much about how design has offered us the opportunity to look at our own, how honest we're being with ourselves. And
yeah,
I think that's where we're meant to start.
absolutely.
Don't project this outside of yourself until you have clarity with areas that you're being dishonest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, some people may refer to those as shadows type of thing. And, the truth and the reality is every time we shine the light on something that's uncomfortable, it loosens its power
Mm-hmm.
over us. And so, just operating from that place of awareness can really offer a deep transformation into, whatever it is that you're trying to navigate
Yeah.
away from and move into. And
Yeah.
I can't help but think that when we look at our designs, I have 4 defined centers. That is where I am putting energy out. And one of those is my defined throat, motorized by my fucking solar plexus. And it's the very area of my life that I have really not let myself speak honestly about. But it's
Mm-hmm.
the area of my life where it could create the most impact, not only for myself, but for everyone else. And I am shown evidence of it every time I have uncomfortable conversations that include my emotionality,
Mm-hmm.
because it's so foreign to me. That's why it's uncomfortable, because it's so
Mm-hmm.
foreign. But every time I do, there's a layer of me of discomfort that falls away.
Mm-hmm.
And noticing that for yourself, hopefully, is enough fuel for you to keep going with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there is a ripple effect, because then when you're around others, it's like, just say what you're going to say. If,
Mm-hmm.
like, literally the thing that I'll say is say what you're going to say. And if I'm activated by it, that's my work, not
Mm-hmm.
on you.
Mm-hmm.
And just let each of us start to have those conversations, start testing it with people that you feel really safe with, and then notice how much easier it might be to the new people in your life. The ones that it's going to be the most challenging, you've heard me say this time over and over again, are the ones who benefited from you being fucking nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't
Yeah.
know. They don't know how to accept your honesty, because they probably haven't accepted it for themselves yet.
Yeah. Well, no, and I'm so glad that that you went back to that, because that is the thing is I can think of a lot of experiences in my life personally where the path of having had been just honest about what was happening was too hard for me to do. It was just too hard. I was like, not going to do it, not going to do it. And I did some other shit that was probably not the most, didn't invite the most ease into my life. Let's put it that way. Right. All to avoid the honesty of what is actually here and happening for me. And yeah, like what a disservice to ourselves, like what a disservice to myself, um to have, chosen to be, like you said, first and foremost dishonest with myself, and then also that like you said, it goes outward. But when you start to, for me, when I started working with the human design system in my own life and seeing myself in this new way, and it allowed me to move forward with honest behavior for myself with a level of confidence that I didn't have before. And, that's my story. And and I'm grateful that I received that, because it has made it easier for me to live with honesty. And, maybe that's not everybody's case, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, this is relatable for anybody, whether you're into design or not. Like, I think that honesty is it should be a focal point of our conversations, and not about you. Like, are you being honest, Amy? I shouldn't care if you're being honest. I should care if I'm being honest with me first. You know what I mean? First, because if I'm not being honest with me, I can't even see you right.
Mm.
Really, end of the day,
I don't
what can I?
know. I don't know. You projectors are unicorns. You can see
Maybe,
shit that you don't even want to
but
see. And I
even
got to tell
us,
you, Monique, there's been so many times where you've left me a voice note or, in a text or just on the phone or whatever. And you ask me a question like that. I don't know that you're being honest. And it's like, I am here for that. And even if in the moment I'm like, well, fuck you,
yeah, right.
that's
Well,
on
yeah,
me. That's on
yeah.
me. And I
Hmm.
just think we walk around, everybody's just so tender-footed, myself included. God dang, my beautiful kid had to bring that to my attention.
Oh yeah, we're in this pool of learning honesty. That's why we're talking about it, and giving these like examples from our life, because it is just it's such a truth that we don't know how to be honest with
Yeah.
ourselves
And
often.
and honestly, nope, all puns intended. You and I both have had experiences where we've been honest and
Mm,
there's been backlash.
absolutely,
And so
haven't
then
we
you're
all?
like,
But
well, you know what? Never mind. Never
is it
mind.
backlash, or is it what's supposed to happen?
Well,
You
yes,
know?
but in the moment,
But
it
oh,
feels
absolutely,
so
feel
awful. And then we
awful.
go into a
Yeah,
fucking shit spiral
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
for
waste
sure.
hours and hours of our life
And
thinking
energy,
terrible
yeah.
thoughts about ourselves. And in reality, if we could allow ourselves to be honest without this conditions that get thrown upon that,
Hmm.
I just think that the collective would vibrate on a higher,
Yeah,
I just do,
me too. I
because
wonder.
I don't think there would be the underlying shit that we're all trying to avoid.
Yeah. Right. And yeah, it's like a yeah, it's like a big avoidance dance that we've created, instead of living honest forward.
Yeah.
And honest forward again with ourselves first. Like, I'm not, I just think that that's such a huge part of it. I think so many of us, I know that I was, and I know I still do, like we lie to ourselves. We tell ourselves stories and we lie to ourselves about our lives, about what people think, about what we're worth, about what we deserve, about what people feel, about what we feel, I mean, God, we lie to ourselves about all that stuff all the time, all the time. It's like a regular program in our brain to do that. And I just want something different. I want it to not be that. I want it to be more honest in my brain and yours and all of ours, like you said, it just seems silly. It seems silly at this point.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I mean, I'm just going to offer like if you're looking for ways to uncover where dishonesty is showing up, are you actually activating your inner authority when making decisions?
Mm, that's a good, yeah, because you're right. That's such a good one because, geez, in both our cases, we could say that. Like you just said, I mean, Amy has two channels from her solar to her throat. Like, you think you should be operating from that place, my friend? Yeah, yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. I have two channels out of my spleen. Think I should be operating. Yeah, probably should be listening to my inner self and my inner truth. And like that was
And
such a
yours
big,
are connected, like one to your G and one to your heart, for fuck's sake. Like that is so much about what you want and who you are.
yeah, yeah, and
And
and complete disregard for that a lot of my
yes,
life
yes.
because I was lying to myself, you
Yeah.
guys, is the thing, because I was telling myself that I wanted things that I didn't really want because they made sense, because I had learned that I wanted them, blah, 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 blah. Stories. But like the honesty, like, I mean, you would have gotten a more honest answer from me when I was younger than, I mean, maybe now I could try and suss out one, but if you had asked me in my 20s or 30s, like what my truth was or I don't know. I don't know what I would have said to you, but I promise you it wouldn't have been honest.
No, yeah.
It wouldn't have. It would have
But
been some bullshit that I picked up and learned that
yes.
I wanted, that I
And,
thought
and
I
regurgitated
was.
right back
Yeah.
out. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what I want. This, that, and the other. Fuck
Yeah.
no, man. I never even stopped to listen to my
Yeah.
little inner intuition voice. And you never stop to give your emotions a chance to fucking feel anything or say them, let alone say
Nope.
them.
Yeah.
God forbid, So it's like, yeah, there you go. That's the end. That's why human design has made us more honest people with ourselves and then therefore each other, and trickle, trickle, trickle. That's the effect of this, is like the more that I show up with honesty and integrity in my relationships, in the spaces that I take up, the more that the people around me seem to be showing up that way.
Yes. I
So,
fully believe that.
is it we're drawing in the honesty when we be honest? I don't know. Is it just that's what's happening? I don't know. I don't care.
I
But
mean,
I
energy
do,
begets
yeah,
energy, right? So
right,
if that's what
right.
we're giving out, then that's
Exactly.
my
Exactly.
my last invitation, as it relates to this topic about honesty, is just notice for yourself when you go to filter, like when you're feeling called to say something, it feels really true. It's not coming from necessarily a wounded place, meaning that you're trying to be malice in any way. Um, is ask yourself why in the moment you stop yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Get clear on the reasons why you're like, gotta suck that back in. Like I hear you say, sit down, projector, nobody asked. I
Mm-hmm.
hear you
Mm-hmm.
say that. And while that's part of design, where it's like, wait, I'm not invited to share yet, so it's going to fall on deaf ears, you also are a whole human that
Mm-hmm.
gets the absolute right and deservability to say what you feel called to say. And so I don't want these limitations placed around us, especially through the lens of design. I think design is meant to help us operate in the most aligned way for ourselves. It's what we chose for ourselves. So are we being honest by, every decision that we're making? And then, when we do go to communicate, what stops us from being honest? And maybe that will offer some clarity that you can, then which it'll empower some choices on how you go from here. But
Yeah, that's a good question too. And yeah, to your point too, is, like the sit down projector, right? Like, right. And, but also, I've also stood up and not sat down. I still do. Recently I said I initiated, Amy and I were talking about something. I'm like, I initiated that whole thing, looking back on it. And it's not that it's bad though. There's nothing bad happening. It's just, it's what's happening. And
Mhm.
that's what I mean by we're scared of, like, oh my God, the impact that this might have, or the, oh my God, like what could happen, like, because we have other, I think, things associated to what that means. But at the end
Yes.
of the day, it's what's happening. Like, do it or don't, right? And don't let the design limit you. Please don't let design limit you. Like I said, for me, it's been clutch in getting to know myself, right? I think for you too, in ways that we didn't know ourselves before. But that doesn't mean it's the way. And I just think that whatever gets us back to our own truth and living in that way, living honest forward is helpful. It's just
Yeah.
helpful. Being honest with ourselves is helpful, and being honest with the people in our lives is helpful. And it'll trickle, like you just said. I think the whole vibration would be better.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought this one up. I think, especially in this season, whenever we decide to release this, it'll be timeless. But, it's just like there's so much people pleasing that can happen during the holiday season. And
Mm-hmm.
this would just an invitation to just get to the truth of your own honesty and what you could be doing that you haven't done before and just see how it's received.
And I just want to say, like, we're not saying to go out there and be an asshole. Okay. Just so we're
Never are
very
we ever.
clear.
Yeah, never
Like,
are we
yeah, well,
ever.
never are we ever. But like, I just don't want somebody being like, well, Amy and Monique said to fucking be honest. So here it goes, sis. I'm going to let you know. Like, I'm not saying like go out there and be honest all loudly in the streets. I mean, do if you want. I don't care. Do you, boo. But also, I don't know. For me, it's been really helpful to be more honest with myself.
Mhm.
And it's been also hard sometimes and for me and it's I know it's always been hard for me to be emotionally confrontationally honest with others, and I think that that's probably a lot of people. I mean, but uh, again, it goes back to because we're not taught to just
No.
live in honesty. If it was okay for me to have felt or like whatever, just been the emotional ass person I was, like, but understood that. And then I just was like, hey, like I wouldn't have these thoughts of like, oh my God, if I cry, it's going to make the other person uncomfortable. That wouldn't be a programmed thought in there because that would just be my truth
Yeah.
and my honest behavior. And I'm getting back to that, you guys, but it's like not always easy to like look at ourselves and be like, well, shit, that's my truth.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like that's
Mhm.
not what I thought it was, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
it's a process, and give yourself grace and don't be an asshole. Please don't be an asshole. Be
Yes.
nice, but be honest. I think more than anything, be honest with yourself.
Yeah. And that will offer you a lot of deep understanding and compassion and self-love, I think, the more that you
Hmm.
embody all of those things. And we here at Love Human Be Spirit are always, always, always inviting you to love yourself because we love you. I love you, Monique. And
Hmm.
the more I love myself, the more deeply and fully I can love others.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, please love yourselves out there. We love you so much. I love you too, Amy. And we love you guys. And thank you for being here on this ride with us. And we will see you the next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.